Hi everyone, my name is Katie Campione and I'm a TV reporter at Deadline. Welcome to TV Contenders, documentary and Unscripted. I'm joined today by some of the talented folks from RuPaul's Drag Race. Since its inception, RuPaul's Drag Race has only continued to grow now with several spin-off series and international franchises. But today we'll be discussing the original series, which is currently airing its milestone 16th season. With me today are season 16 queens Saphira Crystal, Nymphia Wind, Q, and Tsunami Muse. Before we get started, let's take a look at a clip from season 16.
Join the revolution
on MTV.
14 bold new queens break through the noise.
Who will seize the moment?
I feel the presence of the season 16 winner in this room. I think it's me.
Gags.
Let the game begin.
I lived for it, but I also hated her for it.
I don't want to get in trouble for fighting her bitch ass.
Feels.
This is something big for us because I believe we're the first DACAP queens on the show.
Finally having a shot to live my dreams.
Looks.
If this is just a taste of who you are, I am ready for a buffet.
See you sweat, put your whole kitty in it. You say you wanna win it? I wanna see you.
Can I do that again?
Stars.
Brew, I've been slaying bitches forever.
I was seduced.
And so many twists.
This week's winner will receive immunity. Also, I will not be judging you. Instead, you'll be judging each other.
And that's
The tea.
And that's the mother tea.
This season, it's power to the queens.
Safe queens rarely make history.
Hi queens, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi.
Hi.
Season 16 is so much fun, and I wanted to just start by asking about some personal highlights from the season, if any of you have any that come to mind.
Personal highlights. The Rusical was a really fun day on set to film. That was a really, really fun day. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
I think the power performance was one of my favorites. It was the first time when I was on stage that we were doing it, and I remember looking over at the lights and all the big video equipment, and I was just thinking, "We're on Drag Race!"
For me, I have to say it had to be the girl group episode, rehearsal, and all of us getting into that sort of Spice Girl mentality. That was really fun, and everyone doing so great. It's yes, we are here, and everyone is so talented.
I'm still racking my brain to choose which one.
She's like all of them.
meeting.
Everything.
All of the moments. It was a precious time in my life that I will cherish forever. There's so many I couldn't pick from. But I think maybe the bathroom design one was really fun. When we're painting the rooms, it was really fun. Just doing something different out of writing and all.
Saphira, I'm glad that you mentioned the power number from the Work the World episode, because that is such a great episode, and I think it's really timely. And RuPaul's Drag Race is always very timely, but I think that especially is. And so I wondered if you could talk a bit about just that performance and overall what you are hoping to, the message you're hoping to spread with that performance.
I mean, the message to spread is to vote. I mean, get out there, make your voices be heard. I feel like that was one of the reasons why we on the first few episodes we ended up voting for each other, because we're queens who were at home saying that we knew exactly how it should have gone, and now it was in our hands to decide how it went, and it still went exactly how I think that the judges would have chosen as well, because that's just the minds are minding. And I think that if we all get out there and make our voices heard, then we will see the change that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
But if we sit at home and don't do nothing, then what's going to happen? We're going to get what we get. And so I think the point of the power performance is to let you know that you have the power. You possess all inside of you for what you want to see in the world.
I think especially with RuPaul's Drag Race, of course, there's so many challenges throughout this competition series, and there's a certain level of just preparation that probably goes into, getting ready to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. And so I wonder if you could talk a bit about some of the preparations you made for the show and how you kind of trained to compete on RuPaul's Drag Race?
So, well, I auditioned for RuPaul's Drag Race 11 times. And so I had a lot of time to prepare and train and watch and realize what was going to happen the next time and really do my research. I would say, like, one of the first times that I didn't make it, I decided that I needed to just, work on my craft a little bit. And then at some point, I was like, I need to make sure that my looks are looking. The looks have to be on. They have to be everything. And I realized, I'm a girl from Texas. I like big things. So I'm going to bring whatever's big for me. I started getting a whole bunch of big drag, and that became my aesthetic before Drag Race. And then as I continued to audition, I didn't get it again, so I took a comedy class. I didn't get it again, so I took a dance class. I didn't get it again, so I took an acting class, and I really just I started hosting more often, and so I made sure that I was very comfortable with everything. I am a singer. That's been my life since I was a young kid, but I made sure that every single thing that I could possibly encounter on this show, I had some sort of training in, including sewing. I made sure that one day that one year I kept sewing. I got a sewing teacher. I learned how to make drag clothes, because there's a difference for me between making clothes and making drag.
Yeah.
And so I just, really just made sure that in the 11 years that it took for me to get on this show, I had kept improving on myself and not just like resting on my laurels.
No, yeah, Drag Race is like the creative arts Olympic. So it's like you said, you have to be good at like everything. I feel like for me, the way I prepare was basically like through my hustle and just like being out there, the competitions that I was joining, doing it for free, just showing up in drag and like learning from the other artists, you know what I mean, from the community, just really like absorbing the whole experience. Because for me, like there's no other way other than like through experience things to learn, you know what I mean? So like I feel like throughout the years of doing it, I've been doing the drag here in New York for like 6 years now, and I feel like it was that all the hours and sweat and love and tears put into to drag. That's really what prepared me for Drag Race.
Like kind of like Tsunami said, like putting your work in the community and being a part of that, and that honestly just that, and like being a part of the drag sisterhood, that helps prepare you in a way as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was like when I got the call, it was like prepping, because you know what goes on the show. So I try to like, take some classes just to be ready and know what to expect, and then have a basic knowledge of how to approach certain challenges. And then half of it was, just winging it and trying to survive and really.
Right. Yeah, literally.
That is real, yes.
Because, well, I don't have that much experience like Saphira, but sometimes you just gotta make do and make things happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of it that you just simply cannot prepare for.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
Because, I mean, there's just nothing that can prepare you for the experience of Drag Race, because it is an experience of its own and unique. Girl.
Yeah. Being able to adapt in real time, yeah, it's really another part of the recipe.
I would also say that I went to therapy. I like really got my mind right, because I know that this can be a mental game as well as a talent game and whatever you can do. But like, how can you make it through all these weeks of grueling challenges?
I love that you touched on the mental health aspect, and one of my favorite parts about RuPaul's Drag Race is the level of vulnerability that all of the queens kind of show throughout the season. And I'm wondering if you could talk about how you build that level of trust with your other queens and just feeling comfortable being that vulnerable with each other on screen.
I think it's crazy because I feel like we built trust in each other very quickly.
I was gonna say, yeah, it happened really organically and fast. I feel like we were in some way or another, we were kind of like in tune and in the same wavelength of like being a drag artist, because it really doesn't matter where in the world you are. Drag is drag, and all this stuff that we have to go through, it puts us like kind of like in the same mindset. So when you're with another drag artist, you're like, oh my God, sister, yes, I can lean on you. And like, right? This is crazy, right? It's like,
And season 16 had like great chemistry together, like
yeah.
in a room together. Like we all, I mean, even after we filmed the show, like we hung out a bunch of times
Yes.
outside of it. Like we're really close as a cast.
Yeah.
So I think we developed like personal relationships with each other really fast, and that allowed us to be more authentically ourselves, more vulnerable with each other, more open, which allowed for just like some amazing moments.
And I feel like that happened so quick also because like we understand how harsh the world can be on us too, So if we're not lifting each other, then like how can we expect everybody else to be on the same page with us?
Well, I personally think we got close with each other very quickly was because everyone was equally shady. And
Yeah.
so we really just threw it at each other and didn't care. And like that instantly brought everyone together like as a pack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because we were equally shady, but like it takes getting to know someone to be able to do that and to not feel offended by it. And we were all kind of instantly, we just had a camaraderie that just like snapped into place the second that we met each other. And it was fun. We knew that we were there to have fun. None of us really took it too seriously. And I think that was one of the biggest things that like, we're just here to have fun. We're just here to do a thing, enjoy.
To do the thing.
And once we
and compete. And compete.
I mean, I have fun every time I'm in competition. So
yeah.
That's so interesting, though, finding that balance of, you are competing against each other, but also still trusting each other, leaning on each other, uplifting each other.
Well, all we had was each other. So, I mean, the people around us, they're the only people that know like what exactly you're going through. Like nobody else has insight into this experience other than like these girls here.
It's a family that we built together.
Right.
And when you're with family, you just feel comfortable.
I think that one of the best parts about drag is just the artistry and how everybody's style is so unique to their own experiences, their own background. And I think that each of you brought that to RuPaul's Drag Race this season. And Nymphia, I wanted to start by asking you about your drag style because it's just so much encapsulates your Taiwanese heritage. And I wanted to ask about bringing that to your drag and sharing that on screen and what that meant to you.
As an Asian drag queen, I feel like there's so much stuff that could be represented and fused into drag culture. And I feel like not a lot of drag queens are able to do that. So I felt like I had like this mission to really define what it is to be an Asian drag queen and to really incorporate my Taiwanese background into whatever I do with drag and to really fuse a lot of the Asian elements into it and really create something that is traditionally informative yet what am I trying to say? I guess just something that like moves the definition of drag to a broader range that encapsulates what Asian drag is.
Tsunami, you were also very vocal about sharing your status as a DACA recipient. And I wanted to ask about sharing that story and making the decision to be so vocal about that story this season.
Well, it's one of those things that it's like when you allow everyone to come in and like get to know the real you with all the hurdles and all the the battle scars, like they know how much you love it, how much you want it, how much it took to get there. You know what I mean? I feel like sharing those stories really tells a lot about people. And that for me, that was one of those moments that I wanted to be on Drag Race so bad. So I was like, I'm just gonna, this is me. And whatever happens, you never know, because a lot of times when we have to go through so much, you're in a constant state of fear. But for me, like in there, it wasn't that at all. It just felt like this moment of celebration, and like it was just one of those like you got to take a chance with yourself and to trust the process. And that's why I was like, I'm just gonna go in there, have a great time, I've seen, I've been through the worst already. So what else could happen? But being in there, I felt so safe with everyone, and even seeing like the audience response and the amount of love that I got, it made me remember also that like I'm not alone in situations like that, you know, because you can quickly feel like backed into a corner when you internalize things. So that also, it was like an exercise for me to just let go and let the universe like embrace you too, because way too many good things are happening for me to just be focusing on the bads, you know.
Absolutely. And Q, I think one of the biggest, moments in the show so far has been when you um, came out as HIV positive. And I wanted to ask you about making the decision to share that and what you're hoping that that will do for viewers to be able to see that on screen.
Yeah, coming into the show, I knew that's something that I wanted to do, especially with the like theme of the runway, that episode. But I don't know, I just thought if I talked about it, if I could just help one person that was feeling as alone as I felt when I was going through my diagnosis, it would be worth it. So they could just like see me on television, like living my life and still being successful and living, having friends and family and loving support. And I don't know, it was also like very freeing. Like it was almost like coming out, honestly. Like it was like a weight off my shoulders. And I also kind of used it as an ultimatum to like come out to like, my family and like talk to everybody who didn't know about it already. So there's a lot of reasons why I did it. But yeah, mostly I just wanted to be a voice, a visual representation.
Well, thank you so much for being here to chat about RuPaul's Drag Race. And thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having us and being here.
Thank you so much.